So this video is to demonstrate some stretches and releases for those of you who are dealing with shoulder pain, upper trap pain from standing for long periods of time or sitting at your desk in a certain rounded shoulder position for long periods of time. The first release is to stretch out this front neck tissue. So I want you to find your collarbones and you're going to push downward pressure, basically pulling that tissue down, pulling the skin and tissue underneath your skin downwards. Make sure you get your hands like over the collarbone. It'll feel more effective if you get your hands over the collarbone, like you're going. Get the tissue above your collarbone, put pressure, and then pull that tissue down underneath your collarbone. So when I stand up straight, that's what it looks like. If you bend over, find your collarbones, put your hands on top and pull down. Okay. So we're creating oppositional movement, which is fundamental movements of everything in your life. There should always be opposition, including when you're trying to stretch something. Just think opposition. If you're trying to stretch something, you're pulling in opposite directions. So collarbones, hands on top of the collarbones, push in and then pull down, and then you look up. And then relax. Same thing, you keep going for repetitions. Push slightly inward and then pull that tissue downward. We're going to stretch this platysmus muscle. And then look up at the ceiling. Exhaling while you're in that stretch. Okay? Inhale to prepare, push in, pull down, exhaling. Look up. So that's the basic stretch. And there's a few ways that you can change the stretch. First way, you're doing repetitions, like I just performed 3 repetitions, and you can perform 10 to 12 repetitions of that inhale, exhale, stretch type. The other way, you can do holding for 15 to 20 seconds. Within that, not 15 to 20 seconds, sorry guys, 20 to 30 seconds. I mean, there's also nothing wrong with 15 to 20 seconds because maybe 30 seconds might be too much if you're really tight in there. So 15 seconds might be where you start. So I will keep it at that, 15 to 30 seconds. As it starts to feel better and loosen up and not feel so intense, then you can increase that time up towards the 30-second holding time range for your stretches. So when you're holding it for time, you're not going to hold your breath. You're going to be inhaling and exhaling. So use the exhales to re-engage and facilitate more of a stretch. So that's number 2, how to do the stretch, another way of performing the stretch. And the third way of performing the stretch is changing your lip position. So it's just going to intensify the stretch a little bit more. Once you feel comfortable and the stretch isn't so intense, then you can do this kissing motion, puckering or jutting out of your lips, which when you do that, there's upward motion. You're just intensifying the oppositional pull from when you're pulling down on the tissue. So this is, say, level 1, just looking up at the ceiling, and you get a nice stretch there. Once you get acclimated to the feeling of the stretch, then you can intensify the stretch by pushing even more tissue upwards, your chin and your lip. So you do that number. So you kiss the ceiling. So when I do that, it gives you more of a stretch towards the outsides because now you're pulling your lip and your chin up against that downward pull of the tissue. So then it spreads the stretch out a little more from the center area out to here. So that's stretch number one, stretching that latissimus muscle here. It gets tight from being forward so much and looking down. Now, stretch number two, we're going to target this upper trap muscles. So left arm reaches around to the right side of your body. Okay, remember we're talking opposition. So you reach that arm around to the opposite side to give a downward pull in this trapezius muscle. So now that's pulling downwards. Then you reach your opposite hand up and over, grab underneath the base of your skull. Inhale to prepare for it, and exhale, pull your head over. Inhale, exhale. Exhale. So turn this way, and this is what the stretch looks like from the front. Now, to intensify or progress to the next level of this particular stretch, then you just will move your chin or your head in the opposite direction. So the initial phase of the stretch will give you a stretch in that general upper trap line that everyone knows where their upper traps are. You can intensify / progress on that stretch if you jut your chin towards the armpit. So if the left arm is out and reaching around to the right side of the body, we're going to stretch our upper trap like we just did. So now I'm just pulling my head over to the right shoulder, towards the right shoulder. And to progress on this stretch, then you just jut your chin towards the left shoulder. And it'll give you a little bit more of a stretch along this neck muscle. So a number of neck muscles in there, levator scapula, your upper traps attach all the way up there, scalenes, all of those muscles you want to stretch out. And that's what we're doing from here, stretching out scalenes, here, stretching out upper trap, levator scapula. And the same thing with this stretch, you can do it for repetitions, 10 to 15 reps, using the exhale to facilitate the stretch, facilitate the movement. Or you can do it for holding 15 to 30 seconds. So that's the upper trap stretch. Stretching this side of your neck. We did the platysmus stretch, stretching the front muscle tissue. And then let's do a front pec stretch. And this stretch you've probably done somewhere along the line, but you find yourself a wall, put your forearm and half of your, the top of your arm, so from the middle of your bicep against that wall, and then you turn away from it. So now I'm looking at you, and now I'm going to turn my back to you. And as much as you can, turn, pulling that pec tissue away from the wall. And you come back. Inhale to prepare for it. Exhale, turn and find that stretch. And come off of it. Inhale. Exhale. So I'll do it from this direction so you can see. So you're basically at a 90-degree angle. Doesn't have to be exact. Shoulders are square to start off with. So both shoulders are facing straight ahead, but then you're going to turn away. So inhale to prepare for it. You gently press your arm into that wall as you exhale and turn away. So with this stretch, this is the general stretch, but you can also progress upon the stretch by putting your hand on your pec and then pulling the tissue away. So while you pull this way and turning that way, you push energy that way out through your elbow. So you get that oppositional, really intense stretch, pulling that tissue apart. Okay. So those are the 3 stretches to help start to loosen up this upper body tightness, and help to alleviate that shoulder and upper trap pain that you get from standing long periods of time or sitting at your desk kind of in that rounded shoulder position for long periods of time. So give your body um, the gift of these stretches. Perform them for 3 to 5 times a week for 3 weeks and see how you feel.